Keep short accounts. I mean, be as at peace with those about you and those whom you have found relevant in your life. I mean, noticed earnestly whether it was a good experience or a bad experience with them. Do what you can to understand. You know, Mark Twain thing, my enemy is the person whose story I've not yet heard. When you see things or hear things even from their point of view, their perspective, then the stress and the concern and the misunderstanding evaporates, in that you see why, or in what way it was rational from their point of view. Not that the outcome was any the better for it. But that there's absolutely no blame in your heart. You just understand that they were the focus of causes and conditions, most of which were not of their control. They were part the cause, but who they were, well, we're all children, aren't we? I mean, we're incompetent. We do things willfully and by mistake, wrong. In that sense, we want a great forgiveness of spirit, a kindly understanding, what we call the grace of God in us, which is very hard if you're a secular person in the world. But when you have your Heavenly Father ever dwelling in you, it's a breeze. It's a joy to do, isn't it? Do you see? You can do this because God is with you. Makes all the difference in the universe and beyond, doesn't it? So in that sense, keep short accounts. This is the spiritual equivalent of keeping short accounts, isn't it? That you're not at odds with any person in your heart. They may still be at odds with you, and you may have exhausted what you can see as the possibilities of making things any better. But you certainly don't need to hold anything against them, do you? They have been harmful in some sense in your life, perhaps. But God allowed it for blessing, because He's all-powerful and loves you, and could have easily had it otherwise if that had been for the best. So it's your trust and your love of God that equips you, gives you the resources with which not to blame anyone, not to feel, in a sense, they owe you anything at all. You give them their freedom, in that sense, free from any bondage that might have been implied by whatever they did or didn't do in the past. I don't mean you're reckless. I mean, you don't expose yourself to further damage, for instance. That would be a nonsense. You're there to protect your life and to remain in the classroom comfortably to learn the lessons that God has, not to put yourself in unnecessary danger. So do be reasonable, but reasonable in the context of your Heavenly Father loving both you and them, of course. We're all His children by His grace and His goodness, His loving kindness, who dwells in us, our Heavenly Dad. Thank you, Heavenly Dad. Oh, and I might add, and it's a pure self-interest thing as well, that to be free of such burdens by our godly intent, as referred to here, is an incredible blessing to ourselves. And, well, a major part of the very learning that we're in this world to experience and to achieve by His grace and goodness. Thank you, Heavenly Dad.